What did you say your name was again?
Barry? Allen?
Felicity. Smoke.
Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. This week on Arrow, we met Barry Allen before he becomes the Flash. We learned all about Brother Blood's Super Soldier Serum, and Malcolm Merlyn runs afoul of Ra's al Ghul. Since so much happened, I'm going to be doing my top 5 moments, then my review, and I'll be doing a separate Q&A video just for The Flash, so be sure to subscribe to get that. Also remember, this is just part 1 of a 2-part episode. Part 2 will be next week. Here we go, top 5 moments. Number 5, the references. So, see if you caught all these. The chemical shelf in the lab and the sound of lightning was a reference to the accident that created the first Barry Allen Flash in the comic books. Cord Industries. So, the Cord Industries centrifuge that got stolen is actually a reference to Ted Cord, one of the many people to become Blue Beetle in the comic books. He was like a wealthy industrialist. Think of him as like a nerdier version of Tony Stark. The particle accelerator. So, they were talking about the particle accelerator being turned on soon in the episode. Think about the idea of how Speed and the Flash work together and how that intersects with the possibility of this particle accelerator. We haven't actually seen it on the show yet, but if we travel there in the next episode, you can bet that is where Barry Allen is going to get his Speed Force. Professor Zoom. When Barry tells Oliver about how his mother died and it looked like this human tornado, that's a reference to Professor Zoom, who in the comic books traveled back in time to try and hurt Barry by killing his mother. Argus. The Argus bunker, where all the sedatives for the super soldiers are being stored, is a reference to Argus that Amanda Waller controls. Remember, they're an organization like S.H.I.E.L.D. that helps out superheroes. Nanda Parbat. Malcolm Merlyn references the home of the League of Assassins, leading MOAR to contact them and let Ra's al Ghul know that Malcolm is still alive. My number 4 favorite moment is all the stunts. So, especially that first stunt where Oliver gets kicked out of the car by the super soldier. He gets kicked out of the car with the door. Ouch, that's gotta hurt. Number 3, Barry and Felicity's scenes. So, in case you missed it, Arrow, the show itself, is shipping them hard. It was so funny how Felicity just automatically dumped the thought of even liking Oliver the minute Barry showed an interest in her. There is definitely some sexy time for them in the future. How about that conversation they had about penetration though? Number 2, Felicity brings Barry to the Arrow Cave. So, Barry is officially on Team Arrow now. Obviously, he's got to help Oliver in the next episode, but think about it. You have 2 members of the Justice League already. All you need now is a cowl, a golden lasso, some Oreos, and a red cape, and you're there. And my number 1 moment. Barry Allen, heir to the Speed Force, the only person on Earth that's faster than Superman, unless you count Professor Zoom. I thought the introduction to Barry was so awesome, especially the soundtrack they used too. The imagery of the train when he walks into frame, the pouring rain droplets. Obviously he's probably going to be zooming in between those in the next episode. And almost every line of dialogue he had was a teaser for his destiny as the Flash. But let me know what your favorite moment was, and if you saw any references that I missed, be sure to write them in the comments. Overall, I really love the episode. I give it an A+ just for being so much fun, and for them being so bold with the DC Universe references. I love how Arrow isn't afraid to go into the comic books like a lot of other shows like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. kind of are. The writers said they paid special attention to this being a story about the Flash inside of Arrow's world, and not being like this backdoor pilot like a Flash episode sandwiched between 2 Arrow episodes, and I really love that they did that. One of my favorite parts of the episode that I didn't mention during my top 5 was actually the music. So if you remember that first scene between Barry and Felicity, it's almost like there's Christmas music playing in the background, almost like Arrow is giving you this early Christmas present wrapped in red wrapping paper. Don't open it too fast. Let me know what you thought about the episode though. Remember, next week is part 2. He'll be getting his powers in that episode. I'm also doing a special Q&A video just for The Flash. It's called Ask Emergency. It's going to be a new weekly show that I'll be doing. So be sure and leave your questions about The Flash, the spin-off show, and how he's going to work on Arrow, and I'll answer those in that video. Right now, you can click here to get that video. I'll add the annotation as soon as I post it early in the morning, and you can click here to get my Arrow video from last week. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Super fast. High five.